Prince Harry's entire reputation is on the line next week because in a matter of days, just as he flies in for this very highly controversial visit, in theory, of course, for the Invictus 1 year to go celebrations in Birmingham, but in reality to try and bully, and I'm going to use that word, bully, his father and the British government to give him paid security forever, maybe using his children, Archie and Lily, in order to do so, certainly using his wife in order to do so, although I believe she is part of this plot very much. But his reputation could be destroyed, of course, if he is criticised by the judge at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, UK time, for lying under oath, for committing perjury by claiming that he knew nothing of Charlotte G. String Griffiths, now the editor-at-large of the Mail on Sunday, when indeed their Facebook messages revealed a very intimate relationship. Lauren, the insider, has her own theory about the timing of this announcement. But before we get to her, I just want to lay out exactly what is going to go down on Tuesday. Newsweek reporting that the judgment could well impact this visit, because if Harry wins against the Daily Mail, it would provide a positive backdrop. If he loses, it could intensify what is already a highly charged period. Harry would then have to undertake public visits at which he will be heavily scrutinised for any sign of emotion. And as I have reported throughout this week, and you can go back and watch the videos for details, Harry is already in the midst of a breakdown, even though he's meant to be on a pleasant family holiday to Portugal. I think it is a breakdown which has been exacerbated by the use of legal drugs, including psychedelics and marijuana, which are legal in both California and Portugal. Jack Royston goes on, there will be journalists at his events, but no Daily Mail journalists are expected to take on the more intimate pool positions available. So what that reveals, and Lauren will get into this too, is that Harry is already controlling the narrative, because public figures are not meant to pick and choose which journalists follow them around. Harry's visit, Royston says, is an opportunity to rebuild relationships with his father, introduce his children to the country of his birth, and draw attention to several of his major charitable initiatives. The one major issue that could get in the way is the charged emotional backdrop. If the ruling on Harry's security left him distraught, then there is reason to anticipate that losing the case, if he does lose, might have a similar impact. In that respect, an adverse ruling in his lawsuit could complicate the visit. Now, Lauren, this verdict is due to be delivered publicly on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Now, I've been involved in very high-profile cases like this. Very often, you only get an hour's notice. So you will be told an hour beforehand. The lawyers might know earlier, and some lawyers maybe break the rules, but officially, the people who are actually involved in the case and are not part of the legal teams will only be told 1 hour before this goes public, which means Harry could find out about this at 1 p.m. He is then due to address Chatham House in London at 2 p.m, the moment this verdict goes public. Now, your view, Lauren, is that this is not a coincidence. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so first of all, Harry knew when everything was happening because he booked the flights. The trip to the UK was announced some time ago. I had the story from someone on the 17th of June that he was flying in for the court verdict before it was announced. And I didn't do anything with it because I wasn't 100% sure. I now believe that, yes, he was given the heads up on this, and everything feels highly curated where Harry's going to be at the time of this announcement. And, oh, what is it? It's wrapping himself in charity and philanthropy. At the end of the day, I just want to remind outspoken viewers, what we have to do is we have to remember the mainstream media cannot be trusted. I personally don't trust Prince.
Prince Harry's legal battles are once again making headlines as fresh attention turns to his court case involving the Daily Mail. With renewed public interest and ongoing royal speculation, many are asking what the latest developments could mean for the Duke of Sussex and for his relationship with the royal family. Joining us today is royal
Harry
YouTube
either.
commentator.
So when we strip those out, what are we left with? We're left with timings, we're left with evidence. And it's very strange, Dan, isn't it, that this is all, what are we supposed to believe? It's all a coincidence that Harry's court verdict is being announced the day he arrives into the country. Was meant to believe that that was just a coincidence, and we're meant to believe that when it's announced he is doing some do-gooder charity work. I'm not buying it.
The problem is, Lauren, that this court case could have quite a complicated verdict in some ways, because of course, as that operational note shows, there's a whole load of other claimants from, Elton John and David Furnish to Baroness Lawrence, who've all been drawn into this very tangled web. And Harry could almost win on a technicality, but still have his reputation shredded by the judge. So we're going to be looking out for all of that, and we'll be hosting a special live edition of Outspoken at 3 p.m. UK time on Tuesday. So that is 1 hour after the verdict. We're pulling together a superstar panel because I think it's really important that we can bring some truth to what this verdict represents, because there's going to be so much spin going on, Lauren, from Harry's team to try and paint what might look like a win, when actually
is because when they went to California, somewhere along the line, they got in with Mark Benioff, the owner of Time, and various other globalist philanthropists who are all pushing this censorship agenda. Harry and Meghan, I don't think, give two hoots about this censorship. They are being given this script and they are letting it play out on the world stage. That is why this came out of nowhere. And they're clinging on to censorship to try and give themselves some relevance in the public domain. If you take away their censorship crusade, and if you take away Invictus, what are you left with? You're left with some manky old jam that no one wants. And so this is exactly why Harry and Meghan are desperate to cling on to philanthropy and these ridiculous censorship crusades, because they get to tour the world, don't they? Having talking points. Australia, Geneva, all of these places. She wasn't there talking about strawberries. She was there talking about this exactly the same kind of script that Keir Starmer's pushing, the Prime Minister, or soon to be ex-Prime Minister.
Lauren, I was about to say, there is such a leftist pressure building over this. Like Sky News in Australia pulling out Tessa Dunlop, the left-wing historian, saying the king would have used his millions to pay for Prince Harry's security if he really wanted to play happy families with his man-child son. Charles has the means, but clearly not the willpower to make good on a Prince Harry demand that has thrown his long-awaited trip back to the UK with his wife Meghan into complete disarray. But I just wanted to use an example with you, Lauren, of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, at Wimbledon this week. And ironically, it was woke ITV News that had to report on the fact that her trip was something that Harry would say was too unsafe. Look.
She was smiling and posing for selfies, and then she headed inside to the ticket office where she was helping out with staff there. Some pretty bemused people arrived to have their tickets issued by the princess. She then broke with tradition. She didn't sit in the royal box. She actually sat in the outer courts to watch the action. She was at court 18, sitting alongside Tim Henman.
So, Lauren, again, it just shows you if you just go about your business.
What I love, Dan, is the fact that Catherine, she's just so cool. So she decides to not sit in the royal box. It's like, no biggie, I actually want to just be with real people. Harry would be desperate. But remember when he went recently to the basketball game and he was on like the back row. He couldn't get anywhere near the front. This is the difference between them. Catherine is so classy. She is so cool. And the reason that, you know, she's able to go about her business and not be in danger is because, unlike Harry, Catherine hasn't done a book gloating about things. And Harry is
gloating about her Taliban kill count.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like, putting her hand up and saying, I'm totally unprotected. Come and attack me. It's like, look, Lauren, what Harry has done, I believe, is choose to make himself a permanent risk in the United Kingdom. That is what he wanted to do. Lauren, let's have a bit of a palate cleanser and speak about the real royals, because there has been some great news this week. Sophie and Prince Edward, so the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, proudly posing with Lady Louise Windsor, who is 22, in new official portraits after she graduated from St. Andrews in front of her boyfriend Felix. And what was so lovely about this is the royal family actually announced the news on its official X account, posting congratulations to Lady Louise on her graduation from St. Andrews University. Lady Louise was joined by her parents, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, as they celebrated the end of her degree. And they are just a really lovely, normal family, Lauren.
I think that is so great. And I love the fact that Lady Louise is such a great shining example to young women as well. She's not like Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. She's not materialistic. She's not a grifter. She's not out for herself. She's very, very low-key, hardworking. And this is a proper royal. This is someone that girls should be looking up to. And she's a credit to the royal family and to her parents.
And Lauren, such good fun with King Charles in Scotland. I want us to look at this video to end the week because it's just such great fun. Look at this. So King Charles is obviously doing his week in Holyrood. And do you know at all about this game, Lauren? Apparently it's called handball. It's some type of handball game. And you've got the king and he's going to throw in the ball. So let's just listen for a little bit.
Don't have to play.
And look, they go totally wild. Lauren, what's happening here?
Is it a scrum?
I don't think so. It's some sort of handball game. But what I just find so brilliant, and this is so Scottish, isn't it? They don't really care that the king's there. It's just like, we are playing our game.
I love the Scots. They speak for us all on that.
And it's sort of amazing because this game, I mean, it's so bad. I should know what this game is really. I just literally never seen anything like it. You're right, it does look like a rugby scrum, but I don't think it is. And then it moves to another point and the king sort of has to move out of the way. And then eventually the camera has to move out of the way too. But I just thought, again, this is the sort of joy that you get from real royals doing their real job.
Oh, Dan, I can't say he's doing his job though.
Because you're so angry with him, Lauren, over the change in the Christianity definition, right?
I'm so upset about this. This is a sneaky, sly move that I'm afraid is going to change the course of our future.
Yeah, no, I know. And Lauren, we have, and I know you've covered it too on your channel in quite a lot of detail. We actually had Father Calvin Robinson here earlier this week. He raised his interview with you. And I mean, he's of the view that Charles should be removed from the throne as a result of this. So certainly it has caused a lot of issues this week.
I mean, can I say the irony as well, Dan, that Harry is so worried about his security and certain threats. Well, one of the things that is a safety mechanism for us all is a constitutionally Christian country. And so when that removes, Father Calvin and many people have said that becomes replaced with something else.
Well, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because it's like, Harry, where's the terror threat coming from? Of course, he tried to say, oh, it's coming from the far right. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh,
If there's any terror threat, Harry, towards you, it's an Islamist threat, and you should wake up.
Well, Harry uses the same wording time and time again as the government. He used it when he did his New Statesman piece the day after the King's speech. It echoed everything that the government was saying. And the minute I saw far right pop up, I thought, oh, right, there we go, Harry. Isn't that just fitting in with the narrative? It's absolutely ludicrous. He's brought this all on himself. And I think for his safety, he should stay in America.
Absolutely. We don't
Sorry,
want you.
America.
Like, look, no, but that's the point, Lauren. Like,
Yeah.
to end the week, that is the fundamental point. Harry, you've caused all of this drama. There is no public demand. There is no public demand to have you. I actually love that idea of why does Zara and Mike Tyndall not take over the Invictus Games? It would be so much better.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is I didn't see Harry talk about, his safety fears when he was in Jordan being photographed with Hamas sympathizers. Yet again, Harry cherry picking things that suit the narrative.
Yeah, or in Colombia or in Nigeria. But look, Lauren, of course, for people who want much, much more analysis on this whole